Visit us at podlanderpresents.com to find information on all of our shows. All right. Well.
Yep. Yeah, so how'd things go last week?
It was fun. Jen and I had a good time. Episode 7 was a lot of sound and not a lot of shit happening, but it was, a step up from episode 6.
And now we're here.
And now here we are with episode 8 of Virtuous Woman. Oh, I'm sorry. Hello and welcome to Podlander, Drunkcast, an Outlander podcast. I'm Julie.
I'm Amelia.
And we're here today to talk about Blood of My Blood, Season 1, Episode 8, A Virtuous Woman. Barf. This episode was written by Kirsten Van Horn and directed by Azur Salim. Once again, this one got a lot of bad blood on the Slack. Mm-hmm. And I understand why, but to me, it's uncomfortable and gross, and I hate it, but it's nothing near episode 6 levels of terror.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, kind of keeping with how we've been doing this in the past, let's go ahead and just do all of the Ellen storyline, and then we'll do the Julia and Henry storyline kind of separately, except when they touch butts very slightly. Mm-hmm. So, Ellen, she's got to get the old twat test. They got to check and make sure that she's, quote unquote, intact. Ugh. So I think the episode opens with her getting a bath, right? Mm-hmm. And my first question was, for something like this, whenever they had to do these types of examinations or whatever you want to fucking call them, did somebody else have to bathe her? Or does Ellen just get bathed by Mrs. Fitz every time she takes a bath?
Ooh.
Because the bitch is old enough to be taking a bath by herself.
But also she's rich.
She is rich. Well, they're not as rich as they thought they were.
I guess that's true.
But she's definitely getting the old bath treatment. And you got the hot water and the linens everywhere. And then, of course, all the shit that I love, which is the accoutrement. Mm-hmm. Like the bath salts, the sponges, like all the setups of all that. And it's kind of superimposed with or threaded into the equipment that whoever is going to do this examination of Ellen's cooter is going to use on her. Luckily, we're not going to go into the full dentistry of it all, but there's some very horrifying looking tools.
If only vagina dentata was appropriate here.
What if she only just bit his fucking fingers off? Yum, yum, yum. There was a hammer. I'm like, what are we going to do with this hammer?
Because listen, if we're here because we're worried that she got hammered, am I right?
Right.
Then you don't need to bring your own. All right.
And then there was a speculum. Mm-hmm. There was also some chat on the Slack that maybe speculums had not been truly invented for widespread use by this time.
That is what my 2.5 seconds of Googling tells me. Yes, there were speculum-like instruments as far back as the Roman times. The script was correct.
Yeah.
But then, the commercially used speculum wasn't invented, formally, patented until 1870.
Okay. So anyway, there's a big ass speculum, and it is without question the most fucked up looking of all the tools, minus maybe the hammer, which
the hammer was sinister.
I still have questions about the hammer. But there's something about a speculum that just makes me mad. And anyone with a vagina listening to this right now can get on board, right? We all hate this shit.
And we know that speculum was not warmed up.
No lube.
Cold, unlubed.
Cold ass, no lube, terrible. Luckily, it doesn't get used on her, and we'll get to that. But so we've got all the bath accoutrement and then all the equipment, which, by the way, I use the word equipment. If any of you ever watched the show The League, that was a big joke on The League. And so Neil and I, whenever we're referring to nefarious pieces of equipment or tools, we always call it equipment. Anyway, so Ellen's getting prepared. We go down to the Great Hall, and it's Cullum and Dougal fucking hashing it out. I don't really give a fuck about what they have to say in this episode. They are mad at each other, and they want to prove that Ellen's a virgin. What else is there to say here? These actors are fine. They're doing their jobs. I'm just kind of bored by them now for this particular point. The person I do want to talk about, though, is Ned Gowan.
I always want to talk about Ned Gowan.
I know. I can't stop talking about Ned Gowan. First of all, his reactions to everything in this episode are so good. You can tell that he has trained himself, and I'm sure this comes from working for Red Jacob. He has trained himself never to let his face give the game away. His face, unlike my loud ass face, his face is very quiet. And you can tell that he's upset that this is happening, that this examination is being carried out. He does not like it. But he is very all business, trying to make sure that the Mackenzies and Grants can get together on this wedding, trying to make sure that they can save Lallybrock, that they can save and whatever. It's all dependent on her having a hymen. It's fucking weak as shit. But Connor McNeil does a great job the entire episode of never letting other people's craziness mess with him. And I really appreciated that. But yeah, he's upset. And he's trying to find a way out of it. But there's
no way.
No way out of it. Because Daddy Grant actually asked for it. And because they hold all the power, because that's the man, they're going to do this. So Colum and Dougal have their doctor there. That's been their doctor since they were a kid. I'm going to call him Dr. Sawbones. I don't fucking remember his name. Okay. Who cares? And he's like, yeah, I've got all these tools. This my equipment. And Colum's like, no, you don't need to use any of that. Just get in there with your hands. But definitely make sure there's a favorable outcome. So we feel like the game is on. Like they're going to have their own doctor do it and lie.
Yep.
If they find out that she's a whore. But then the Grants show up. Like, is there anything between Ellen and Mrs. Fitzgerald kind of just having a chat where Ellen doesn't really tell her that it was Brian, but she negates Murtaugh. Right. Because Mrs. Fitzgibbons thinks that it was Murtaugh. And Ellen finally is like, no. And Mrs. Fitz is like, who was it? She's like, I'll take his name to my grave. We're like, okay, 10 toes down, Ellen. At one point, Mrs. Fitz is making her drink a fuck ton of water, and that's to make her pee clear, right?
I think so.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be... God, people are so dumb. It's almost like Tylenol causes autism. But if the pee is clear, she's a deer. If the pee is yellow, there's been another fellow.
Wow.
I just came up with that right now.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Visit the Podlander Drunkcast merch store. Just kidding. We don't have one. For you to get your, if the pee is clear, she's a deer, I don't know, test tube kit. What would
it would be a
shot glass?
UTI testing
yes.
kit. Test strips and maybe some of that, whatever that drug is that turns your pee bright yellow that makes it feel good. Feel not so bad to pee. Anyway.
Dirty fingers sold separately.
Exactly. Oh. So Mrs. Fitz kind of knows what's up, right? She's giving her the bath. She's cleaning her up. She's making her drink all this water to make sure that the pee is clear because that's going to be part of the test. My question is, how does Mrs. Fitz know this? Has she ever had to do it or has she been to one?
I mean, if she has all this knowledge about, sometimes virtuous women are maligned and there's no way to prove otherwise, is it just in the lore? Has she been to, I don't know.
It feels like she has some kind of knowledge of what to expect, right? And she's trying to allay Ellen's very understandable fears, but, Ellen is not looking forward to this, and she's very upset. Then I guess we kind of have to jump to Brian just real quick here, right? So Brian is at fucking Leathers. Long story short, Lord Lovett's going to go on a vacation to the spa to get his dick hard again. And he's about to leave. And he thanks Brian again for fucking Ellen Mackenzie, I guess. And he says something about the purity test or she's getting examined by the Grants or whatever, that you may break up their marriage. And this is the first time that Brian actually kind of internalizes or responds to the fact that he has brought something terrible upon her. She had sex with him too, but now he's like, oh my God, somebody's going to be rooting around in there because of me. And he freaks out. And he's like, I got to go save her. And this is after Lord Lovett rides away. Deuces, Lord Lovett. We won't see you the rest of this episode. Nice. But Brian is like, Mom, I gotta go. And Mistress Porter is like, no, don't go. You'll get in trouble. And then Julie is like, I'll go with him. I'll help him. I know how to get in there. And also, can you please hand me an egg white? And Mistress Porter is like, what? And then Julia, and this is another thing that I had forgotten about last week. Remember, our gal has a photographic memory. And it's not really made that big of a deal out of, but it's coming in real handy right now because she's talking about some ancient medical text about the woman's body, torculus or some shit like that. I'm thinking, who cares?
My favorite Disney Channel series from the 90s, the Torculuses.
But she's like, here, there's these kinds of quote unquote examinations have been going on for all time. There are ways around it. Get me an egg white and some alum.
And some sugar.
And I'm going to make a little potion. And Mistress Porter's over there going, how do you know this? Yeah, tell me more. What you read? And we get another one of those moments again. And Julie's like, shush, let me mix this up. So it looks like, if you've ever used egg white like mask on your face, you know that it dries up and it shrinks. And alum, the only reason I know about alum is because of Warner Brothers cartoons back in the day when like Sylvester would eat it and his mouth would get tiny. So my guess is that it's some kind of poultice or egg white substance that you put on your labia that make them look like it's closed.
That's my understanding.
Fake hymen.
Julie, would you like to know what I honestly thought was going to happen?
She's going to bake her a cake? With a saw in it to like saw out like a prisoner.
I honestly believed in my heart. We have sugar. We have egg whites. I thought she was going to bake like basically a macaron. And like as like a fake hymen, like as a suppository. But what's the it goes suppository. Like
shove this meringue up your cooter.
Yeah, a cooch meringue. Like that's what I thought. Visit the Podlander Drunkcast merch store to get your own cooch meringues.
So
enter code alum at checkout to get.
So when we do see it get used, it's a liquid. So I do believe it's a substance that dries on your labia and makes it appear as if there is a closure or it's tighter than whatever.
And did you see that our own doctor of the slack, Larissa, made this potion in her kitchen and took a video of it for science purposes?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Larissa, we love you.
Yeah, we love you.
It's crazy. So
to be clear, she mixed it but did not demonstrate it.
She's not putting it on anything. Okay. She just wanted to see what it looked like. Yeah. Maybe she put some on her arm, like she test patch on the back of her hand just to see. It's like pulls everything together. Anyway. So Julia and Brian hit the road for Lollybrock. And Julie's like, I know how to get in. There's a back door. I know, like, I can get us in there. We won't be noticed, but you will be noticed. I will look like a maid. I will be furniture, frankly, and I can move at my ease. And so they ride off. They get to a crossroads, and Brian tries to dump her. That way's the Grants, and she's like, no. I told your mother I would guard you with my life. And she did. There was a very nice moment between Julia and Mistress Porter. So, long story short, Julia gets to Lollybrock. That's the important part. And she straight up walks up those stairs and knock. Freaking Mrs. Fitz opens the door and is like, this gal,
fuck?
What? Why are you here?
How'd you get here?
And then Ellen's like, is that Julia? Let her in. I think she's a time traveler or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
And Julia comes in and is like, hey, put this on your cooter. It's going to help.
Yep.
We're going to have to do it right now. And you're going to need to try to vamp a little bit, stretch it out because we need it to dry as much as it possibly can. So you just need to make this examination take as long as it possibly can so that this egg white shit can dry on your labia lips. And Ellen's like, oh my God, thank you. You're the best. I love you. And Mrs. Fitz is just over here like,
what?
Who is this? Who is this person? Okay. And Mrs. Fitz goes with it though. because I think Mrs. Fitz really is scared for Ellen. And she knows that Ellen boned somebody. She knows. She knows they were handfast to a Fraser. She thought it was Murtaugh. She doesn't know who it is now, but she knows that Ellen fucked somebody. Mm-hmm. And she's like, we can't have her getting hurt. Because everybody's afraid that the Grants will kill her?
Yeah.
And that's intense.
That is very intense. Colm even has that line about, like, it's easier to marry off, like, whatever, an impure sister than a dead sister.
Mm-hmm.
You get it.
Mm-hmm. So, the Grants show up. There's a nice scene with the Grants when they're out on the road, which we'll talk about in the Henry story a little bit, I guess. But we see that Malcolm and Henry really kind of like each other and respect each other. And Malcolm is very uneasy about this examination. He does not like it. And once again, let's give our little hat tip to the short king. He's being good.
So cute.
Yeah, he's being nice. He's really sad that his dad is making this happen.
Yeah.
You know who's not sad? Archibald. This guy.
This fucking guy.
Anyway, so Henry and Malcolm have a great little scene out on the road where we see that they like each other, whatever. But they arrive at Lollybrock and they come in. And first, Henry does a thing where he keeps Archibald from going in. Mm-hmm. And is that Ned Gowan coming out and saying, we want to welcome you to, I can't remember exactly how that went down, but it was like the servant, quote unquote, the servant quotient, like the footman and Archibald didn't get to come in at the beginning. And I think it was just like an introduction, like, hello, welcome to Lollybrock. So you've got the brothers and the dowry chest that they've all laid out and made sure everything is in it. And it's like all set up like Sephora. And ready for inspection, just like Ellen.
Oh.
That makes me sad.
That makes me sad.
So they come in and they're looking at the dowry and everything is there. And Malcolm,
they got the lip kit. They got so many goodies.
Yes, we've got some black
hyaluronic
eyeliner.
Acid.
Ooh, yeah, that's good for the labia. Anyway, so they proceed to go into the Great Hall for the examination, and then we find out that Daddy Grant is not happy to let Lollybrock take care of Lollybrock.
No.
He has sent his own doctor that he wants to do the examination, and a priest. Mm-hmm. Just in case there's a devil in there, I guess. But Mrs. Fitz had already told Ellen that it was going to be her childhood doctor, and now Ellen's going to walk into the surprise that it's some stranger. And you can see that Colm and Dougal are both just like, they're not happy about this. And I think it's because occasionally they feel a slight twinge of guilt. Mm-hmm. But they got to do what they think they have to do this. They're uncomfortable. Ned Gowan is very uncomfortable. Henry is very uncomfortable. Pretty much everyone is very uncomfortable.
Malcolm is uncomfortable.
Yeah, Malcolm is uncomfortable. Everybody is uncomfortable, but the most uncomfortable is Ellen. So they go up to get her. She comes down to the Great Hall. She's wearing her robe. The guy tells her to take her robe off, and there she's standing in her shaft. And then they make her drink some weird-ass shit.
Yeah, she's already holding in like 72 liters of well water, and now some other substance.
Like sea holly or something? Yeah. I don't know.
Is it supposed to be like a diuretic just to make her piss faster?
Yes.
Honey, I got news for you. There's already 72 liters in there.
Yeah. I think it is definitely a gotcha trick in this particular kind of examination, because I bet it is a diuretic, and I bet it makes you have to pee real bad real fast. Mm-hmm.
Because, of course, just as a virtuous woman can hold her tongue,
which Ellen surprisingly does,
so can she hold her water. I do want to throw them a little bone here. There was that moment where the imperious outsider doctor, even his wig looked imperious. Like, he just a real scumbag. Mm-hmm. When Dr. Scumbag said what I just said about tongues and water, Dougal does turn to Colm and go, well, she can't do the first one.
And then she does, though. And I think that's one of the clues that Mrs. Fitz gave her, right? Which was, don't talk.
Yep.
Anything you say is going to be bad for you. So just 10 toes down, shut the fuck up, right, to remain silent. And the moment, so he comes over with this big goblet of this sea holly or whatever the fuck this diuretic is. Yeah. It's a gotcha. And you can hear, was it Malcolm that is like, I don't think we have to do this.
Yeah, this is fine.
I don't think we have to do this part. We can just proceed. And the doctor's like, no, we're doing it. Or we have to be sure. And before he can kind of even finish his thought, Ellen, looking directly at him, reaches out, grabs that goblet and upends it and does like the biggest. It was a chug that reminded me of chugging Mickey's when I was in college. Like, she drinks the whole thing in one fucking fell swoop. And she's like, fuck you. And then she puts it down and wipes her lip and is like,
let's fucking go.
Let's go. And then she has to stand there without peeing. Okay. I'm about to take this into a really dark place. It's dark already. But has anyone ever seen the movie Sybil with Sally Field? There is a whole thing in her flashbacks that I will not detail here because it is too grim. But the character that Sally Field plays in Sybil is a multiple personality person suffering from multiple personalities because of atrocious childhood abuse that they survived.
Yikes.
And one of the things is having to hold your pee. And so I'm like watching this, and that after seeing that scene in that movie, I will never be able to erase it from my mind. Like that is one of those things that immediately will always just come back to me and just like an ice pick in the middle of the forehead. It's so terrible. And so that's the moment I had. And I was like, oh God, Ellen, I'm so sorry. And she stands there for a while until they're like, okay, here's the piss bucket. You can pee now. But towards the end, you can see her kind of doing a little very slightly modified pee-pee dance. So she's got to go.
A PP reel. It's Scotland after all.
Just very little. Like she's just kind of moving her toes. Like she's not going to give them the fucking satisfaction. This bitch is hard.
And then when it is time to pee, they send her, like, I feel an insufficiently sized piss bucket.
Yeah, it was too shallow.
Yeah, it was like a piss tumbler, a piss...
A chamber, like, bowl as opposed to a pot?
Yeah. Little do they know, there are 72 liters.
It was really shallow.
Really shallow. And then, like, she has to take a piss in front of all these men.
Mm-hmm.
And just... Poor Malcolm. I think Malcolm is like, I want you to know that I still think you're fuckable, but now you have to piss in front of me, and that makes me embarrassed for both of us, and also I don't want to think about the fact that you piss. This is what I thought, which is not the worst thing a man has ever done on stage or off, right? But then my favorite, so she pees, and she's like, the rage contained within even just like she's like holding her jaw, like again, jacting, okay?
Yes.
Great jacting.
Yes, she is.
Where, like, the fury contained within that piss, I feel like if I were Ellen in this situation, if I could just, like, piss blood on command just to scare people, I would, you know?
But then they'd think the devil was in.
I know, but...
She pees.
Emotional blood piss.
Emotional blood piss. I've been there. She pees, and then they take the chamber bowl, and they pour it into an enormous, clear, like, snifter. A piss snifter.
Let her piss in the snifter.
Yeah, why didn't you let her piss in the snifter? Anyway, Patty. So they pour it into a snifter so that they can hold it up to the light and see how clear it is. Because if it's clear, that means she is virtuous.
And they say, the water of a virgin runs clear as a mountain stream. I just want to point out that her water is mostly clear with just a little drop of sepia in it.
Well, Dr. Scuzzbucket decides it's clear enough, and he's like, okay, you passed this part. Now let's get over to the table, lady.
I know this is an oral medium, but Julie is acting out the role of Dr. Scuzzbucket across the table from me right now.
Get up on the table, ho. It's like that moment. And Ellen is just terrified, right?
Yeah.
Because here's this stranger that's about to be violating her.
And the table is also very narrow.
Yeah.
Unnecessarily narrow.
Yeah. So he does it. He does what he has to do. Quote unquote has to do.
Mm-hmm.
And goes down there to check and make sure she's quote unquote intact. And the one thing, I did not like this sequence. Obviously, none of us want to watch this. But what I did like was that it focused on her face so much.
Yes.
Because that is who we should be focusing on in this moment. is her dealing with this humiliation in front of her brothers, in front of her husband-to-be, in front of her family's lawyer, in front of people who work for the Grants. Like, she's just having to do this in front of all these men. It's just literally the worst. And he takes his goddamn time.
Yeah.
He's down there rooting around. You can see it's uncomfortable for her. And then he stands up and goes and wipes his undoubtedly dirty-ass fingers off and is like, she's a virgin, but in Latin.
Virgo intactum.
Virgo intactum or whatever. So the egg white potion helped, maybe. Or maybe she was, who knows? Who knows? But she passes the test. And as she leaves the room, she does nothing but stare at her fucking brothers. Like, you dickbags. I hope you remember this until you die.
Now she's staring blood. Now she's like a Virgin Mary statue, crying blood.
Blood pouring out.
Not for the Lord, but for rage.
Okay, so Ellen passes the test. There we go. That's Ellen's story. It was terrible. It was humiliating. It's done. Now let's get to Julia, Brian, and Henry. So we already talked about Julie and Brian leaving Leathers to go to Lollybrock because Brian's like, I'm going to save her ass because I did this to her and I feel bad. Good. So they get to Lollybrock. Julia gets in, no problem. They get him in through that little back door that we've seen Ellen escape through. And Julia is like, you stay here. Don't fucking move. If anyone sees you, this shit is up. And Brian is like, okay, I'm going to let you do it your way first, but if you don't come back down here...
Or if I hear a stramash.
Yeah, whatever. I'm going to do it my way, which I guess is try to take on 40 men. Fit him in.
I mean, the Scottish Terminator is daddy. Terminator 1.
Terminator 1. This is original Arnie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he's ready to go, but he believes in Julia. He trusts her. He also knows that this is a hashtag a woman's secret. Like, get her up there, get that witch up there and let her do her spells or whatever. And so he's just pacing around in this little storeroom somewhere, just waiting. And it flashes back to him occasionally, like he's trying to hear what's going on, but he's not going anywhere. He's trusting Julia to do the deed, and Julia does. So she gets up there, gives her the egg white substance, whatever it is. Mrs. Fitz is confused. Okay, but put it on. Good. We need everything we can get. And then Julia kind of just hangs out in the room up there, right? Waiting for it to be
pacing.
over. Yeah. Pacing back and forth, looking at her potion to make sure it was the right consistency. Did I get this right from the Temecula or whatever the fuck this book was called? Did I get it right? And then Ellen comes back up afterwards and they embrace and Julia's like, okay, I'm glad it worked. I gotta go now.
Mrs. Fitz does have a nice moment here, though. She like bursts through the door first, like it's because like the Latin isn't there, but the excitement and the relief is just like flooding through her. So that was funny. Latin.
What
hard.
did she say? Virgo instructum or something like that. Yeah. And so Julia's like, my work here is done, and she starts to walk away. Gets down into the bowels of Lollybrock and walks past this doorway, and that is a scene where Henry has left the group to go do something. This is early when they are first there. And he sees her and thinks she's a ghost the first time.
Yep.
The second time he sees her, it's real. And we'll get right to that. Let's get to Henry. So Henry and Grant had a nice little scene on the road. They're friends. Henry is real sad that this is happening. When he gets to Lollybrock, after he looks at the dowry and everything and says everything's cool, he's like, Ned, psst, psst, can I talk to you? And he gets Ned into a room and he's like, how the fuck do I get out of here?
Yeah.
They are watching me. I gotta go. Can you cover for me? I'm gonna go right now. And Ned's like, no. Man.
We got a plan.
I'm Ned Gowan. I don't do things halfway.
Improv? Absolutely not. Ned Gowan is method all the way.
Yeah. I no, and
if you want to go to a second city, you have to do it on my timeline, am I right?
So Ned is like, please let a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? Like you're thinking, brain, not brain. Like don't be rash. Don't be rash. Don't try to run away right now. Wait until after all this is done. We get the contract negotiated, and that's going to give you a chance to come back to Lollybrock, which I assume is closer to Inverness, which I guess is why he wants to escape from there because it's closer to the Dick Rocks. I don't know. Wait until then. So you kind of cemented your place in helping everybody do all this, and you'll have a little bit freer, easier movement. Mm-hmm. And Henry's like, kind of like fever dream over here. He's still kind of halfway between two worlds. Yeah. And he's like, okay, that makes sense. All right, Ned, you're cool. And then they go in and they are very uncomfortable while Ellen gets examined, quote unquote. We already talked about that. So after the examination, as Julia is making her way back to Ellen's room through the bowels of the building, Henry is down there for what?
He was down there because that's when he wanted to have his sidebar with Ned for the first sighting.
Mm-hmm. The first sighting was sidebar with Ned. Okay, is she a ghost? The second one when they actually see.
I don't remember.
I don't know why Henry had been removed from the crowd. I don't know why he was in kind of the downstairs or servants area or whatever.
I mean, a lot of this episode takes place in the downstairs.
There are those who would say all of it does. Just in the basement. Flooded basement. Not in a good way. So he goes down there and he sees her again. He sees Julia, but this time Julia sees him. And it's like, what? And they have a moment, which is very lovely, where they reconnect. And at first he doesn't think she's real, but finds out she's real. They kiss. He asks about the kid. But she doesn't just go with him. She's like, no. You do not come to Leathers. That's where I am. Don't come there. They will kill you. Don't come there. And so there's this, I don't really understand that.
Well, she has to go back to get the baby.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, baby. That's okay. Thank you. Because to me, I was like, why the fuck would you go back? Oh, your baby.
Right, so she and Mistress Porter traded sons for the day.
That's right. That's right. So she's like, no. Just wait. Here's where I am. I'm okay. It sucks. She doesn't get into the fact that she had to marry the dude. She does tell him the baby was named William after his granddad. We're cool with that. And then she just leaves. And then Archibald comes looking for Henry and is like, are you seeing ghosts again or whatever? And Henry's like, oh, I feel better. And like they walk out and he's all smiling. And Malcolm says something like, you look happy or something. And he goes, I feel good. We've done some good work here today. I don't know what he says. It's fucking ridiculous. Why would he look happy after what he just witnessed? Anyway. Then a courier shows up riding real hard on a horse. And he jumps off his horse and he hands a letter to Henry. So I presume that the Bladier has to read all correspondence before the Laird. Is that the way this works?
I mean, Mr. Zip of the USPS might have some notes.
Yeah.
But seems true.
He just handed it directly to Henry. It's like, Das Vidania rode away. And Henry opens it up and Daddy Grant has passed. R.I.P. Daddy Grant.
R.I.P. Daddy Grant.
So that means that Malcolm, in his grief right now, surprised. I mean, his dad was sick, but he is surprised by this news.
Yeah.
Malcolm is now the Laird Grant. Grant Laird, how do you say it? Laird Grant?
I guess so.
I don't know. And that's kind of where we wrap up there. Midland, to say the best. Once again, another one kind of where there's a lot of drama, and obviously the examination is terrible and hurtful and humiliating and all those things. But it really takes up so much time in the episode that it feels like not a lot happens around it. Other than Lord Lovett leaving town for a while. That's really all I got.
Who are we to complain about hot pess? We begged and begged for hot pess, and we got 73 liters once you add the liter of Sea Holly.
Yeah.
And now here we are saying middling?
Yeah. Well, I mean, hot piss, not freely given.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I like my hot piss freely given. I like my hot piss offered. I like my hot piss proffered. Like, hey, take a look at this. Pess. This is not that. So, sorry, Ellen. You had to do it. But once again, may I remind everyone, we all know what happens. So it's
even though Mrs. Fitz does stop Brian and Julia on the way out, being like,
oh, yeah, that's right.
I tracked your asses to the secret door. That's how you got in here, ding-dongs. Listen, if you really love Ellen, you're going to leave her alone.
Exactly. And she hands him back his tartan strip that they're handfast with. And Brian's like, ugh, and takes it and runs away. But Ellen's going to be pissed when that's gone. But I think Mrs. Fitz probably did her a solid right there.
Probably.
And, yeah, I don't have anything else. Do you have any quotes, likes, dislikes, anything?
I'm so sad about my meringue. Oh, speaking of the merch store, Julie, I meant to say this and I don't want to forget it. So I'm just going to do it this week instead of trying to save it in vain. God knows I have a memory of a goldfish. Okay. Speaking of the merch store. Mm-hmm. My 3rd wedding anniversary is coming up next month. And so I was looking up, like, okay, year 1 is paper and year 2 is cotton.
Year 3 is hot pess?
If only.
What is year 3?
Leather.
Oh,
but
no.
Of all the years to be looking for leather gifts, I just look at leather and I think of leathers.
Gross.
Yeah. So...
Do you know what you're going to get your husband that has to do with leather?
I haven't decided yet. I've been making a lot of stupid jokes about, like, getting me like a sex harness. Nice. No shade to people who actually use those in real life. I am just a little like, I'm not a prude, but sometimes I go, oh wow, I could never. I have to put screws in my ceiling. No. So I don't know yet, but yeah, I just leathers. Ugh.
Well, here's the thing that I'm really holding out hope for in episodes 9 and 10, which will be the 2 kind of finale episodes. I'm wondering if it'll be like part 1, part 2. I know that those are mostly written by Diana Gabaldon. And based on episode 5, which was the best episode of the season, hopefully we can look forward to a little bit more entertainment or more something. I really hope that Balak or whatever his name is fucking gets it.
Oh, yeah.
That's really the only thing I care about now. Because I know what happens with Ellen and Brian. I know that Mrs. Fitz is okay. I know that Colin and Dougal are okay. I know all these things already. I need to see that Balak gets laid out by somebody.
Yeah.
That's all I really care about anymore. Because that's the only thing that I don't know what happens. Oh, and frankly, Julia and Henry seeing each other, it's not that I'm mad about it, but I really think that them never finding each other again would have been a stronger story.
Yeah, it adds more like inherent fear and peril into the deeply disconcerting, to say the least, experience of time travel.
Right. When she saw him, I was like, sometimes I make up lines for people and say them out loud. And it's like, Henry, oh my God, wasn't it fucked up?
Visit the Podlander Drunkcast merch store.
And wouldn't that be funny if she just said that? I don't know. Anyway, that's all we've got for this week, I think. Any final thoughts on A Virtuous Woman? She's a liar.
Glug, 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 glug.
Drink up to piss up. Bye.
Bye.
That was amazing.
So,
Excellent.
Words escape me.
Yeah, excellent. Excellent is the only word that I can think of. Anyway, thank you all so much.
Thank you so much. We would like to hand you each an award for excellence in listening to our bullshit.
You all very much deserve it.
Yes. But yeah, thank you for listening. You can find more information on this and the rest of our shows at podlanderpresents.com. You can also find us on Instagram at podlandercast, at podlanderpresents, and at other various Instagram handles for our other various shows. Our Instagram and website are wrangled by Amelia Ham on the Loose Bazell.
Woohoo!
That's me. All Podlander Presents programming is produced by Allison Shoemaker and Julie Starbird. Our editor is Chris Barrett.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. Oh my God, seriously, thank you, Chris. Our artwork is by Viv Pickles, aka Laura, and we are, as always, eternally grateful to our drunk Slack moderators, particularly Moderator-in-Chief Jenna Polkowski. You can support the show by going to patreon.com/PodlanderDrunkcast, where you can find all kinds of cool stuff, including access to our Slack, our mostly kind of sort of weekly live watches, early access to episodes, some bonus content, and other fun things. Again, that is patreon.com/PodlanderDrunkcast. patreon.com/Podlander Drunkcast. You can also support us by leaving a review wherever it is that you get your podcasts. Wherever, just give us a little review and we will be so grateful to you. And in addition to all of those wonderful people who do all of those wonderful things, we want to especially thank the following just absolute stacked roster of lovely folks who support us on Patreon.
Okay, so I don't really read the name list, so bear with me, but we're getting into it, okay? We want to thank all of you, but very specifically, we want to thank Bonnie, not a prince or a douche, just my name. Jessica Brewer, Kristen Bennett, Susan S., Gwendolyn Wind, Evietta Chapman, Copper 29 Dragons, Nicole Koenig, Mariana Morris, Ginka Soja, Susan Springer, Cindy Elliott, Jay Deich, Andrea, Catherine Bullard, Vanessa, Rebecca's Gift, Amanda Chappell, Kristen Z, Melissa Mendez, Leslie Jamie, Jennifer, Tara Ross, Victoria Pegg, Aditi Joshi Parker, Laura Coach Mama LT, Tracy Stewart, Amy Allison, Brenda, Shayna Vaughn, Aaron, Diana Sprague, Ashley LaHue, Doc JWS, Karen Shane, Elisa Kerkowski, Tanya Rick Stair, Amanda Miller, Megan Rich, Kate Snipes, Ann Romeo, Naomi Beckman Strauss, Sydney Taylor, Alyssa McGuire, Laura Mahoney, Ashley Winteroth, Midnight Burger, Anna N., Dakota Girl, Margot Mansfield, Snazzy Knack, Lisa Brian, Julia Gulia, Kathleen Martini, Jessie Massey, Taryn, Kelsey Kemp, Emily Day, Caitlin Reddick, Katie in Kilts, Molly, Maria DeVito, Rachel Akbar, Kristen and Emerson, hi Emerson, Larissa Malmstat, Freckled Fury, Laura Calm, Amelia Bazell, him on the loose, Patrick, Liz Peniston, Danny Bryant, Lindsay, Caitlin Rose, Megan Matthey, Denise Perkins, Monica, Lori Johnson, Sarah McElvain? McElvain. I'm going with that. Brittany Hulbert, Amy Gustafson, Rachel Townsend, Meredith Kersey, Amber, Liz, Kelly Mazzella, Chantel Salters, Mary the Falling Statue, Karen J. Young, Philip Nako, Tara Lucchino, Viv Pickles, Mary of the Grapefruit, Jean Kiesler, Christy, Jenna Polkowski, Scotty Caldwell, Ann Gibson, Kristen Flannery, Katie G., Tori Bryan, and Kiki the Wise. Thank you all so much. We're just going to keep doing it, so keep listening, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.